against that man, Ricardo Pietreczko. And this is a match to look forward to because Pietreczko has been playing particularly well in getting rid of Damien Mole and John O'Shea. And Heta had to work very hard in the last game against Owen Bates before getting home, just squeaking home. And we'll watch this game in the company of Paul Nicholson. I think this should be a good match, Paul, shouldn't it? But particularly on the basis of what we've seen from Pietreczko, I think he can put it up to Heta here.
90.
Definitely. Now that he's lost the ball in this contest, meaning he will throw first in the even-numbered legs, he's going to have to break Heta at some point.
100.
And I'm really interested to see how he reacts after that second round match, because sometimes with young stars, they see themselves put in these big numbers and they automatically put themselves under pressure to do it again. The thing is, Ricardo doesn't have to average 110 again.
Career best number, wasn't it, Paul?
Indeed.
Yeah.
By 5 points. He knows that. He's a bit of a statistician himself. He likes to keep track of his numbers.
100.
He doesn't have to do what he did in round 2. He's just got to beat Damon Heta by whatever numbers he needs. It may have to be 10 or 15 points less than that.
104.
What he has done for himself over the last couple of days, and indeed the last 6 months, is put himself in a more comfortable position where he can play better. He's not under much in the way of rankings pressure.
59.
He's looking pretty safe for the world. He's right at the top of that list with the likes of Mike DeDecker. As far as Minehead's concerned, in November, he's very comfortable for that in mid-table of the 64 that will qualify. You might think that he's under pressure for the World Grand Prix, but in a funny sort of way, I don't think he's looking at it like that.
Yeah, he's 34th on the list for the
90
Players Championship finals in Minehead, of which 64 qualify. It's a wider field, isn't it, in terms of the qualification? Double 16 here for Heta, and now double 8.
Game shot.
Good start from the Australian.
I think when players get the element of freedom, knowing that they're going to be in certain things well in advance, they can come to things like this and just play to win a tournament as opposed to playing to get into something else. And I think that's what these 2 days are about for Ricardo. It's always like that for Damon because he's safe for majors on a daily basis.
140.
He just wants to get more titles to further cement his legacy as the second best Australian in the history of the PDC. Because that's exactly what he is.
Who's that after Paul Nicholson?
Oh, he's better than me.
40.
Whitlock at the top, then Damo. I'm going to stick myself third because of the amount of wins that I got, and then Kyle after that.
96.
But he's still going. He's got more chances of winning majors and winning more events like today because, let's face it, he won an event in Germany just last month.
He did, yeah.
140.
He's got to get past Pietreczko first. That would put him in the last 16.
It's a really interesting section of the draw, actually, because the winner of this game will take on the winner of board 6.
138.
And that is very likely to be Kevin Doets of the Netherlands. He's 5-1 up on Brian Roman right now. And there have been a smattering of shocks today. Seeds out. Likely champions gone.
50.
And we have to look quite deep to see where the potential champions could come from. No Nathan Aspinall in the next round because he's lost to Ricky Evans. And that was in this section of the draw. So one of the biggest hitters in this section is out.
59.
Well, we saw some fireworks with the finishes in the last match that Pietreczko played. Has he got a 3-figure outshot in the locker here, early doors against Heta? Maybe. Double 16 is the target. Oh, he can't find it this time.
This is right in Damon's wheelhouse. This range of finish can take you very far.
Game shot.
There's about 1.5 inches between those two darts. But now there's 2 legs between them in the scorecard.
There is indeed. At this stage of the competition, the last 32. It is still a race to 6 legs, best of 11.
82.
That will apply right through to the semi-finals, where it becomes best of 13 and the final best of 15. So there's less room for error at this stage.
When you first came into darts, Rod,
180.
we probably didn't talk a lot about German darts. It was probably seen as an area of the world that might get bigger. What's been your impression of the growth of German darts in the last 10 years?
Well, it's been terrific, hasn't it? I mean, the seed was sown by Max Hopp. Let's get that right. But it was the narrative was that it was Hopp or bust, wasn't it, for many years? And as Max has had a lull in his career,
83.
Other German players have come through, like Martin Schindler and latterly Gabe Clemens has been hugely impressive in that great run, the World Championship to the semi-final, really setting the bar even higher for German darts. And I think what's happened then is that it's encouraged younger players like Pietreczko to think, I can have a crack at that. And when darts is successful in an area or a country, it attracts younger people to the sport. It attracts both, young boys, young girls to the sport, teenagers who believe they can do it. This guy is doing it, and it becomes a snowball effect, doesn't it?
Indeed. You look at the World Championship qualifying tournament that they have in Germany called the PDC Europe Super League. I was at that tournament last year, just getting a really detailed insight into what that's like. It's been going for quite a few years, and it was particularly famous during COVID because of the lollipop man giving you the go-ahead to go to the hockey.
Yeah.
But that tournament really said to me just how deep German darts is. There are many more stars coming through than you can actually realise.
Yeah, we've seen Hempel come through, haven't we? He's a guy that switched sports from handball.
And Damon's not going to take the big 161. So Pietreczko should
have a burst at the World Championship one year, didn't we, as well?
So 93.
There's plenty of them.
So many.
Now, this is an important two-dart combination for Ricardo Pietreczko to get on the board. He does not want to go 3 down. That goes without saying. Double 16?
Game shot.
And he denies Heta a chance to go 3 up after 3 legs.
The first person through to the last 16 is Kevin Dutz, the winner of board 6, and he awaits the winner of this game. And we have seen some rather remarkable performances in round 2 today. None better than Christian Kist, who popped a 105 average against the #1 seed Dave Chisnell.
58.
And if you think Chisnell submitted, think again. He averaged over 103. But that 9-leg win for Christian is proof that he is playing at the peak of his powers. An astonishing 6-3 win for the 2012 Lakeside champion.
180.
And we have a lot of board finals going on right now. And if you'd like a little taste of what's happening, you've got
50.
games like Kist against Jim Williams. You've got Danny Lauby against Martin Schindler, the 11th seed. That's currently locked at 3-all. And Lauby only got the call to play this morning.
$137.
Well, he was in danger of going 3-0 down not long ago. Now he's 2 darts away from
130.
levelling up at 2 apiece here. Pikachu. Could be an 11-dart leg here. Will be if he hits double 16.
$28.
Well, Damon's not going to put him under an enormous amount of pressure here because Ricardo will expect to bring us to 2-2. No match today where Damon has really
58.
dominated. He has had to work hard for those 2 victories, particularly in round 2 against Owen Bates. A little bit perturbed there, Ricardo. He can take his time, showing a bit of maturity there, not throwing before he's ready. He's not under any pressure. You wouldn't think it.
No score.
It's a good job that Damon's outside the finishing zone on 193.
Well, 5 missed darts and a double here from Pietreczko. at the end of this fourth leg, and he hopes to bring the curtain down on it now. There's been too much faffing going on.
He wasn't doing this in the previous round.
Game shot.
But it is 2-2 eventually. Hey, looking at the other board finals, Cameron Menzies against Vincent van der Voort.
140.
That's 3-3. Ryan Joyce is currently 5-1 up on Rusty Jake Rodriguez. Ryan Joyce has been playing some sneaky good darts recently. James Wade has taken on John Henderson, who's made it to the board final today. And you've got good friends Darryl Gurney and Ricky Evans going up against each other after Nathan Aspinall was Ricky Evans' most recent victim.
100.
That's for who's going to win today. Throw some balls in the air and see what falls at last or first, however you want to look at it, because this really is a wide open tournament.
100.
It's the kind of event, actually, that Damon Heta won in Germany last month. Lots of seeds went out early, Rod, and ultimately Heta just plodded on with what he does.
Yeah.
And towards the end, everybody failed, and he didn't. He didn't even have to play that well in the final against Luke Woodhouse. He just got the job done.
Well, that's what he's trying to do here, and he's left 170. Pietreczko is going to leave something a lot more manageable.
100.
121 is preferable to 170, but Heta getting the first crack at it. Can't finish now.
140.
Well, leaves double 15 if it's his choice to go straight at it, and that's if Pietreczko misses the 121. Going bullseye first against all convention when your opponent's on a finish.
65 left, yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a 50-50 call for me.
106.
He's left himself on 15. That wasn't part of the plan. Well, neither was that.
He could be left on 15 here if he goes inside.
No
well,
score.
He misses 3 at double 15.
Well, he's got nobody to blame but himself, unfortunately, because he left it by choice. He didn't have to leave double 15. He decided to. And Ricardo has decided on double 6. A very good choice.
And Pietreczko now leads 3-2. He lost the first 2 legs of this darts match. He's won the next 3. Well, now he's in charge off the back of Damon Heta missing 3 darts at double 15.
There is something on the line today, Rod, that I've been keeping tabs on for the last month or so.
60.
Damon Heta's got 7 PDC titles. He's won a European Tour, 4 floor events, the Brisbane Darts Masters back in 2019 and the World Cup, so 7 titles.
96.
His namesake, Dennis Ovens, has also got 7 PDC titles. So if he was to win today, or indeed another one in the future, he would become the most successful The Heat player in the history of the PDC. I'm sure that's something that doesn't even crop up.
100.
I'm not sure it's an actually recorded record, that one, Paul. There's a lot of stats, but I haven't seen that one on my list. And there's a few that you could be similar. I mean, the most successful wizard between Osborne and Whitlock.
94.
And,
I think we better not go down the Iceman route, otherwise Alan Warren who's in the room, might get a bit upset.
yeah, I think he's going to be put in the shade, isn't he? Completely by the time Gewin Price has decided to turn it in.
Unfortunately.
59.
And that's not to say Alan Warren Little wasn't a good player, because he was a former world number 1 and a major winner. But the 21st century Iceman is a different level.
That might be a good evolution of Gezzy's nickname, actually, the 21st century Iceman. I've got to give Ricardo a lot of credit because he was on the canvas at 2-0 down. He has responded really well, albeit with a few stuttery darts at the outer ring.
Yes, he looks to become the most successful Pikachu in World Darts history.
Do you know, when I was a kid, Pikachu was when you were given 5 pence, you went to the corner shop and I said, I'll pick that chew over there. I'll have a refresher, thank you very much. Just goes to show how old I am.
Long time ago, was it, Paul?
It was a long time ago.
Right, now then, Damon Heta looking to level up the match, looking at double 10 here. That will do, next door to the double 15 that caused him so much problems in the previous leg. And it's all square again now at 3 each.
If you are programming your viewing for a little bit later on, as far as last 16 action is concerned, I can tell you that
19.
Christian Kist will be on this board next because he's beaten Jim Williams by 6 legs to 3, again averaging over 100. He might want to add himself to that exclusive list of players who have won a Players Championship without a tour card, being Joe Mernant, Scott Williams and Christoph Ratajski, because that is an amazing performance in the last couple of rounds from Lipstick.
59.
You'll have to wait to see who he plays because it will be either Andrew Gilding or Dimitri Vandenberg, and that currently sits at Gilding 2, Vandenberg 0.
180.
And another maximum from the German. Which takes his tally of maxis to 4 in this match.
$60.
Important like this midway through the match. Somebody's going to be 4-3 up.
You want to be the person 4-3 up having the darts.
50.
But then again, in a more important sense, if you're the person 4-3 up with the break, you're the one who can stretch your legs if you can consolidate.
Yeah. It goes bullseye first on 1-2-1 again. It's not going to finish again.
60.
Now, this one is so manageable for Damon. He had a 1-1-6 in his previous match that he didn't take. It's the same sort of approach here. And again, he fails when looking for 419s and a shot at the bull of the outer ring.
102.
And he has to watch on to see if Ricardo can break his throw and make himself the favourite for the contest.
20 for double 20. Bingo.
Game shot.
Well, 60 checkouts do not come any better than that. That single was right in the middle and the double was right in the heart as well.
4-3 to Pietreczko. And as Paul rightly pointed out, he has the darts too to go 5-3 up. And really take control.
137.
One thing that messes with my head as well, because I was always for uniformity. A bit like Damon, all the flights match, all the stems match, all the darts match. Whereas with Pietreczko, 3 different coloured flights, I just couldn't play that way. That one's got black and yellow. That one's got a bit of yellow and red. And that one's got a bit of brown and yellow. I just wouldn't be able to figure that out.
Didn't Whitlock have mixed flights?
I think Whitlock's had mixed everything.
Yeah.
90.
I've even seen people play with an odd dart.
Yes.
Your good friend Laura Turner had an odd dart the early part of her career at a Lakeside match.
Yeah.
Is it another max?
140.
Not yet, but this is a strong position for Pikachu. Damon's going to have to work hard again. It's been one of those days.
Yeah, I think he's looking at the only way he can win being 6-5. And that will definitely be the case if this goes.
Yes, single 40.
It doesn't need to go, does it? Because the lead in this leg is so significant. He can see this as a setup visit solely without any worry about checkouts.
And what he's just done is known as the Berry Van Peer, the 1-2-4, where he goes for 2 42s and tops. Now, doing that when your opponent's halfway through the leg, I can kind of get it. I can even get it when your opponent's sitting on a double. It's just a little bit unconventional.
It is. This will be something conventional, won't it? Similar target, it'll be 14. The single this time for the double 16. And this is for a 2-leg lead with only 3 left to play. There it is.
Game shot.
So whatever idiosyncrasies he was displaying in the previous visit, that was very conventional and very good. And now Heta has got to win 3 straight.
180.
And that's the way to start about that particular task.
It certainly is. And he has done it already today to win a match. This game is all about replication, of course.
140.
He will look to do what he did against Owen Roloffs in game 1. And he hasn't missed yet. And he still hasn't missed yet.
140.
I was getting a little bit excited there. His World Cup teammate, Simon Whitlock, on the other streaming board with commentary today, did miss double 18 for a 9-darter. Ultimately, Whitlock would be taken out, though, by Ronnie Hybrecht 6-5 in his board semi-final. And that was a particularly good game as well, with a 1/10 of a point separating them in just the one leg as
100.
well. Start of the fight back from Heta's pretty good. 81 after 9 with a guaranteed visit. In fact, he's got 2.
4.
Right, he had to win the last 3 legs. He
49.
was well on the way to winning the first of those 3.
That burst that he had against Owen Roloffs earlier on today
90.
was sub 45. That's where it's going to have to be here, considering how well Ricardo's playing today. And that's a great start. 13 darts. He might have the luxury of doing that again in the last leg. But depending on how Ricardo plays here in leg 10, it might have to be better. It might have to be 4 visits.
Yeah. Well, he needed to win 3 straight. He's won 1 of them. He's a third of the way there.
100.
Which isn't quite as catchy as the Bon Jovi version. But
we do have some names into the last 16 already. Martin Schindler has beaten Danny Lauby.
50.
His bonus day is over. So the 11th seed from Germany is safe. Ryan Joyce is through. Johnny Clayton beating Ted Everts by 6 legs to 0 in their board final on board 11. Van der Voort, Kevin Dutu awaits the winner of this one.
57.
The rockstar Joe Cullen has taken out Mike DeDecker. And that game with Christian Kist and Jim Williams that we've already mentioned for Kist winning 6-3.
yeah, Cullen's had a fairly decent couple of days, hasn't he?
96.
Had a reasonable run yesterday, didn't he? So
Yeah, I spoke to him briefly last night in the hotel, and I said to him, "You look really close to form," and he said, "Yes, I feel that way."
Yeah. Nice prep for Blackpool, which, as we mentioned yesterday, Paul, a lot of players see this as really a good workout ahead of the World Match Play Championship, whereas some players prefer to have a complete break and put their feet up, or maybe go somewhere to warmer climates and lie on a beach. But
interestingly, Cullen today, in the last 32, has beaten his opponent on Saturday night. He's got Mike DeDecker, first game of the tournament. Yeah. So beating him today is not only good for his form, psychologically, he's got the edge.
Well, we'll see what happens when they meet in Blackpool. If DeDecker wins, I shall remind you of what you were saying, Paul.
I'll be just around the corner from your commentary position.
If Cullen wins, I shall nod sagely at you and think, there, it's not Whitlock who's the wizard, it's Nicholson who's the wise man of darts.
Well, we said that Heta might need a 4 visit leg. 5 will do.
Right, now then. Yes, he's got it. Double 18. And at 5-3 to Pietreczko, it looked close to being all over, but it's not now. 5 each, and Heta with the darts is now the favourite. And if he can replicate what he did in leg 9 with the throw when he won it in 13 darts, not only will he be the favourite, he'll win.
100.
This
And that's what he
ability,
started off with, wasn't it?
this ability to sprint to the end is becoming ridiculous from Damon. 13, 14, and starting with a maximum in the third leg of the needed
99.
sprint.
Mm.
This is astonishing levels of refusal to lose. This is why I'm such a big fan of his game, because
57.
what he's got whirring around the grey matter between his ears is just a lot more assured than most people under this roof. He's playing a person who has set a personal best today, who is attaining new levels
8.
in their game. But unfortunately for Ricardo, it's looking pretty bleak in this 11th leg. Or is it?
44.
Loose visit gives the German a glimmer of hope here, but Heta, we mentioned at the start of the burst of form that winning on his throw in 5 visits would be the target, and that's still very much on the cards here. He's had 3 visits to the board, he's left 220, so
134.
140 here would leave 80, of course. And even a level ton leaves a more than manageable 3-dart outshot. Just needs to stay straight here. Even a single's not too bad, but the treble is even better.
40.
He gave that a bit of extra oomph.
He did, didn't he? Powered it in to leave a 2-dart combo, and certainly a very manageable 3-dart finish after 12 darts.
And what is Ricardo up to?
Well, he's
100.
I thought for a minute he was going to try and leave double 4, but anyway, now this is the big moment. This is the key to it all. 2 at double 10 for Damon. Double 5. And that is a sensational fight back of the highest quality from the Australian, Damon Heta. The heat was on the heat and he responded. Runs those 3 legs off in 13, 14 and 15 to deny Ricardo Pietreczko, who is beaten from 5-3 up, lost the last 3 legs, but what a comeback from Heta. He wins 6-5 and he moves on through to the last 16 of this Players Championship 16 in Leicester.